Hello, marketing students. I want to welcome you to another edition of Professor Julian's GoPro video. I was sitting at my desk the other day and checking my Facebook like very normal people do in this country. And I came across a kind of an interesting Facebook post by ABC News, and they posted it. Pennsylvania and New Jersey towns among the nation's most expensive. And what I thought was kind of interesting is, here's my town. My town is one of the top 500 most expensive zip codes in the United States, Avalon, Stone Harbor, right here, and I am in this neighborhood today. What I thought was kind of interesting is, as I read this, I thought to myself, well, why don't we have any Nordstroms in Stone Harbor? Why don't we have any Macy's in Stone Harbor? Or Whole Foods stores in Stone Harbor? Why aren't these stores prevalent here? And I think what I want to share with you is the fact that marketing research is a very massive and strenuous task that marketers need to embark upon. They need to embrace it, they need to love it, and they need to really utilize it, so that they don't put a Nordstrom's in Stone Harbor, even though some of Nordstrom's customers and Target are living here in Stone Harbor. But as you'll see at the end of this video, hopefully you'll realize that the power of marketing research and how important it is for marketers to embark on this journey. I thought what would be an interesting GoPro video is for you to experience the life of a middle-aged, suburban, middle-class person. I am in that category. I am a middle-aged, white, Caucasian man. I live in suburbia. This is actually my house. This is one of my cars. And we're a very typical family. You saw my dog walk past. There he is. That's Muggsy. He's a good-looking Shih Tzu. And so I thought I'd show you kind of a day in the life of a middle-aged Caucasian male who is married with 4 children who are of the teenage years. And that's one of those social economical categories which we'll discuss to show you and highlight how a person like myself and someone in my family shops. But today, I thought I would show you how a middle-aged man shops and what he does during the day. So come on with me and enjoy the day in the life of Carl Julian, a middle-aged professional. I am in my backyard right now, and I wanted to tell you that 57% of all the men do the yard work. This is a task that has always traditionally been on men, and when you do the yard work, you will be 50% of the purchasers of periodic and routine lawn and garden type of products. You'll see fertilizers, grass seed, etc. What's interesting about lawn fertilizers and lawn products is that there is a tremendous amount of brand name recognition. The generics do not do well in this category. There are brand name purposes. People like the brand names in this target, and men are in that category of buying brand. Another interesting demographic and a statistic regarding men and marketing research is that 65% of men pay the household bills. Here is a pile of bills. I have my life insurance, I have my car insurance, I have my homeowner's insurance, the gas bill, the credit card. I'll talk about credit in 1 second. Here's a direct marketing campaign to my wife. Here is a Stone Harbor Library, a late for my son. 100% of children have late library dues. Here's another interesting thing. Last week I turned 50 years old, and AARP sent me an application and a bill to join their organization as an older person. Credit cards are an interesting thing with regard to marketing and how do we pay for things. This is my wife's credit card. I'm not going to open it. I don't want to say that I'm afraid to, but in general, we do our best to pay our credit cards off every month. As you know, there is a lot of discussion with regard to credit and student loans and those types of things. But here's an couple interesting facts about men. Men carry about $3,600 in credit card debt on average. On average, this is about 30% of their available credit. So that means that men, have 70% more available credit. They can charge a lot of things. I mean, they have pretty good spending habits, pretty good credit habits. And then 28% of them pay their credit cards off monthly, which means that this, $3,600 goes down to zero on a monthly basis. And this is, as I said, this is what we try to do around our house. My wife will just buy everything on the credit card, and then groceries, the movie tickets, anytime we go to dinner, and then at the end of the month the bill comes in and she pays it off. And she does this predominantly, maybe not necessarily on this Chase card, but she has a Hilton card and a frequent miles card, U.S. Airways card that she uses on a regular. I'm now in my laundry room. I want to let you know that 35% of men today do the laundry. We use like normal, we use a variety of different products. These are a great new invention. Toss-ins, there's no more liquid, no more powders. We use pre-treaters, and my wife and or I, who are buying it, a lot of times we'll buy different products. These are gel, these are more powdery. Traditionally, we'll buy a generic bleach. Sometimes, obviously, we'll buy Clorox bleach. And again, some of these things have a lot of brand name recognition, but 35% of the men do the laundry. In my laundry room, what was another interesting fact was that 45% of men do the ironing. As we kind of study this and try and figure out, why are men ironing, which is traditionally not a task that they do, but what you realize is when you study social cultural changes, you realize that there are a lot of stay-at-home fathers, there are a lot of stay-at-home men, and there are a lot of women in the workplace. Thus, the workplace, the household chores have to be divvied up more accordingly between men and women, and 45% of the men are now doing the ironing. I thought I'd come over here in my kitchen and I'd just share with you a couple other statistics. In 1975, it took men would do about 6 hours of housework a week, whereas women would take 27 hours a week of housework. In 2012, that has shifted almost to be equal amounts. Men will do 14 hours a week of housework, and women will do 17 hours a week of housework. And today, 56% of the men clean the house. As you can see, here's a variety of different cleaning products, Windexes, mostly brand names. Here's a generic in steel wools, magic erasers, generics in ammonia, but you'll see a very traditional amount of brand names. Brand names have a variety of different pluses and advantages to them. In many cases, there's unique aromas associated with them, which are things that the company will strive to have it as part of its branding image, aside from a logo, scrubbing bubbles, or the Mr. Clean look. They'll also have an aroma so that people are somewhat familiar with it, and they gain to like the smell of certain things, as well as the ability to do some cleaning. What I thought was an interesting fact was that while both men and women are doing hours of cleaning in the house, it takes men about 7 hours to clean a house as compared to 11 hours of women to take to clean the house. I'm not sure if men are doing this more quickly or for a reason, or if there's a different style or approach, but this is an interesting fact that men want to get it done quicker. So as you're developing products for cleaning, and knowing that there's a larger percentage of men who are cleaning, making something that helps them get done quicker is truly a need and a good, as well as good information for you as you're trying to develop good products. I am driving on Stone Harbor Boulevard, and hopefully you can get a pretty good view of how beautiful it is this time of year. Many of us one of the 500 richest zip codes in the country. Kind of sometimes enjoy the peace and solitude of October and the beauty of it. I'm coming up to a couple other examples of what a middle-aged, middle-class person does. But I thought as I'm driving here, I'm going to kind of turn on my radio for you and show you the radio stations that a person like me may listen to as part of understanding me. And again, just to reiterate, marketing research is often the unglamorous side of marketing, but this is truly where business people need to spend most of their time and their money and a lot of their effort trying to understand their target. If they're trying to sell me something, they need to understand me. So again, I'm just going to turn on my radio here. I'm going to turn the volume down so that you can't hear the music. But as you can see or can't see, I have 95.1, which is WAYV, which is the station. I only have that for my kids. They like that pop music. 96.9, I forget the name of that station. I only listen to that when my wife is in the car. I know that that disc jockey, her name is Delilah, is on that radio station. 97.3 is ESPN radio. So I listen to that on a regular basis. This 99.3, I don't know the name of that, but that is like a kind of a rap type of music. I know a couple of my children enjoy listening to it. I very rarely allow them to listen to it while I'm in the car because I don't enjoy that music. These two last stations here in my car are NPR. NPR is National Public Radio. Kind of mostly news and stories in many cases, but I listen to National Public Radio. Flipping it here, here's my AM session, kind of. I listen to 1210 out of Philadelphia. I listen to WOND out of Atlantic City. I listen to 1450 out of Atlantic City also. This is kind of interesting, I think. This is a Sirius XM radio. That's the Howard Stern station. I remember Howard Stern from many years ago as when he was on commercial radio, and now he's on Sirius XM. This 114 is a Fox news station, and if I click on that, and you can see what I can normally do, I'll turn that up a little bit for you. What I normally do is I can hit all these news stations because I enjoy news on a regular basis, that type of thing. NPR again from an XM perspective. And my last favorite page is I have the 60s on the 6 and 70s on the 7 and those types of things. Basically for my wife, I have the Elvis radio. I kind of like Elvis a little bit. Here's another radio station for my wife, The Bridge. It's a lot of love songs and those types of things. I listen to some kind of old country western music. That's Willie's Roadhouse. 98 is Laugh USA, and then again I have another Howard Stern button on my car. So that's kind of what I normally will do in the car. Traditionally, I think if you study people, you'll understand that like in the morning I listen to more news radio stations. As maybe I'm driving home at night or middle of the day, I might enjoy a little Howard Stern, or I might enjoy a little music, or I might, Willie's Roadhouse or Elvis, or even just a little bit of Laugh USA at the end of the day as I am driving home. So as I'm sitting here, I have two spots I want to show you as I'm driving. Here is Osborne's Furniture. What was interesting is that 60% of men will buy furniture. And I thought that was kind of an interesting statistic. Now over here on the left side, I'll turn. The question of the hour is, do men prefer Fords or Chevys? We have both of them right here. Here's the Chevy dealership. Here is the Ford dealership on this side. And the answer to that question is that men prefer Ford. Ford is the predominant winner, and if you look at specific brands, like here's the F-150 brand, it is almost, I don't want to say embarrassing for Chevy, but Chevy cannot compete at all, whereas the Ford F-50s almost sell 2 to 1 to the Chevy pickups that are on this side of the street. As I continue my driving on Stone Harbor Boulevard, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Garden State Parkway this far down south in Cape May County. This is Stone Harbor Boulevard. This is exit 10. We have embarked, I guess sometime last year, on a $150 million road project to put overpasses on. You can see the construction. This overpass, which is on the southbound lane heading down to Cape May, just opened up. And the goal was to eliminate these 3 traffic lights that we had right here in Cape May County. 87% of middle-class Caucasian males are not willing to add more toll dollars or gas taxes for road projects like that. Whereas 45% of Caucasian middle-class women are perfectly willing to add a couple of cents per gallon of gas, as well as easy pass toll money to help infrastructure. Traditionally, men are not willing to support that through a gas tax. That being said, middle-aged Caucasian men are predominantly much more active in politics. It's one of the largest active groups in political activities, attending the affairs, going to rallies, different types of things like that. Understanding, what makes a middle class, middle-aged Caucasian male. Understanding a little bit more. Continuing on here, you may remember this Acme. I was in this Acme with you a video or 2 ago, which is the kind of the Acme that my wife and I shop at. My wife often will do ShopRite online, as I may have indicated. But what I thought was interesting is that 50% of men do the grocery shopping. And that's the Acme. What's interesting about that fact is that 50% of men do the grocery shopping, and of that 50% of men, 80% like to go into the grocery store to do their shopping. They don't do shopping online like my wife, which is conversely is that of the 50% of women who do grocery shopping, 80% of them prefer shopping online and would like to do it. They always can't do it, but they would prefer to do grocery shopping online, whereas men like to go into the store, 50% of the men. As I'm driving up here through a little cemetery in Cape May Courthouse, I wanted to alert you to another interesting fact about middle-aged Caucasian men. 75% of men take the cars in the family to the garage. This is my garage here. It's called Gary's Automotive. It is a small business, a couple of bays, a couple of mechanics. I've known Gary for many years. Just to jump, out of the topic of marketing research, one of the beauties of having a small business and the beauty of small businesses, I know Gary, I know the mechanics, and that I really trust them when they say, you need new brakes, your tires are bad, or what have you. I really have faith that they are not trying to tell me a story just to make more money. Whereas sometimes I think the perception is sometimes the car repairs in a car dealership, or even some of these Midases and these Jiffy Lubes are trying to generate more sales. Just a comment that's the beauty of small business, that you can get to know the owner and have some trust. Trust is one of the most important competitive advantages that Gary can have as a small business auto mechanic. But again, 75% of the men will coordinate all of the car repairs in the family automobiles. I am parked out in front of my church. My family and I go to the Stone Harbor Lutheran Church, and here it is right in front of us. A whole lot of different conversations about nonprofit marketing, which we will have a separate GoPro video on. But the topic for this GoPro is marketing research, and just thought it was an interesting fact that 30% 30% of men go to church, only 30%. 70% of women go to church. You know, if you sit in church, you will notice that it's predominantly filled with women, and women bring the children to church. This is across many different religions. It's just not a Christian religion, not just a Lutheran religion. And it probably, is, from a marketing research perspective, an interesting fact that churches have to amend to and make a decision as to whether or not they can attract a man to that audience. Another interesting fact is that 90% of boys that go to church now as a young person, and you'll see them going to church with their mothers on a regular basis, but 90% of the boys will stop going to church as they reach adulthood and reach the age where they're allowed to make the decisions about church and religion. So again, as studying marketing research, here's just another entity, another statistic as to what makes a middle-aged, middle-class Caucasian man, different facts and figures about me and my habits. What's an interesting fact about pets and pet ownership is that 40% of men own dog, and what is interesting about dogs and dog food is men do about 60% of the shopping. Here's my dog Muggsy. Look, Muggsy, I just bought you some Iams. This is an expensive dog food, but Muggsy, what you should be happy is that this expensive dog food was on sale today. So that's why you got Iams dog food, which is a nice expensive dog food. Because normally I would buy Muggsy, my dog, there he is. I would normally buy him an Acme brand of dog food. So as I want to finish this session of GoPro, I want to finalize a couple of things of what men do, middle-aged, white, middle-income, middle-class men do. Coke or Pepsi, an age-old question. Men my age, 64% of men prefer Coke over Pepsi. I say this to you as I go over here. 45% of men are the primary caregivers for children. These are my children. They're no longer in diapers, but they need rides to sports. They need to get picked up. They get sick. They have to go to the doctors. 45% of men are the primary caregivers. And as you can see, social cultural changes that have happened over time. Women are in the workplace. Women are working 2 and 3 jobs. There's a higher divorce rate. All number of factors that come into the point as to why 45% of men have become primary caregivers for their children. A couple other interesting facts about men my age. We strive to be macho. We like to consider ourselves as tough people. We like to consider ourselves in charge. We are risk takers, and we like to be the money makers in the household. My normal day, according to marketing research, will be that I will have 7.6 hours of sleep, 1.1 hours of eating, 1 hour of grooming. That includes shaving and showering and those types of things, and 3.6 hours of leisure time with 2.7 hours watching TV. So with that, I would like to turn to the TV. Today is Football Sunday. 73% of men will watch a football game today on Sunday. 55% of men will also watch the NFL. What's interesting is that of the 73% of men, almost 90% of that 73 will watch a football game of a team that is not their primary team or their favorite team. They enjoy watching football, and they will. 73% of men will watch a football game, with a larger percentage of men watching any football game that is on. During the game, 82% of the men will watch football. They will eat some chicken wings right here. They'll have some chips and some nachos, and these are a couple of the brands that I have. Here's these wonderful homemade Acme chips with some sauce and some French onion dip. And with that, here's some tacos and quesadillas. are number 3 in the category of what men like to eat while they're watching a football game. I am not in this category, but men will traditionally have 2 cold beers while watching football games. That's not me. I'm going to have 2 cold sodas today while I enjoy my football games today. So, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to relax. I think I've said this a couple of times to you. This is Eagles country. You are required to be an Eagles fan in order to do well in our marketing class. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to watch the Eagles game. Incidentally, the Eagles are playing the Giants this evening. There's no doubt that the Eagles will beat the Giants. It is an easy game for them. So, as I summarize our GoPro, I would like to just reiterate the fact that I'm sitting here in Stone Harbor, which is one of the 500 most wealthy communities in our country. However, that alone does not tell the whole story. The whole story is about marketing research, about studying your target, studying what makes your target tick, trying to understand their purchase habits, what influences their purchase habits, and any number of factors that will help you develop a better product and a better service so that you can sell more to your target. So with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the Eagles game this evening. And with that, I would like to sign off and hope you enjoy marketing research.